and welcome here to TalkFCB, and welcome back to the channel, guys, for some big Barça news coming your way today, as we are going to be discussing the injury issues at the club right now. Araujo suffered a problem last night, and we're going to be discussing how serious that latest injury is going to be. We're also going to be talking, of course, about the big transfer story right now, Philippe Coutinho, and whether he could be leaving to return to the Premier League. And is that going to happen in the coming days? And so importantly, how Coutinho's potential departure could open the door for Ferran Torres to be registered. It is all coming your way. So let's get to it. But if we do indeed start with the cautious news of Ronald Araujo, because yesterday, of course, during the Copa del Rey match against Linares, surprisingly, Araujo was subbed off at half-time, and that was a shock for me because he was one of our outstanding players, as he always seems to be there, and I was shocked, really, that he did go off at half-time, but then word emerged that Araujo had been subbed because of a possible arm injury. He seemed to be clutching it there as the half went on, and that was a really worrying sign. There were even reports before the tests were done that Araujo could be out for several months while this injury healed. But the good news is, it is not that serious, because this morning, after further tests had been done, the club confirmed that Araujo has fractured the second and third metacarpal bones in his right hand, and as a result of that, he will undergo surgery on that hand tomorrow. The good news is, though, is that the new timeline for his return seems to be anywhere right now between 10 days and 3 weeks out with this fractured hand, which of course is much better than the months that were originally reported. What happens now is that we hope the surgery goes absolutely fine, that everything goes well, and then basically, of course, waiting and hoping that hand heals as soon as possible, because there is no question about it. Araujo is a player that we desperately need, who really holds our defence together, and to lose him for any amount of time, that's a blow. Just quickly as well, before we do move on to the Coutinho situation, Frankie also went off with an injury in yesterday's game. He came on at half-time, but then he went off half an hour later with a problem. The club confirmed today that he has a strain in his left calf, but the good news is that is not a serious problem. It's not something that's going to keep him out for a long time, but he is a real doubt now heading into the weekend's game against Granada. It's another little problem that just hampers De Jong's progress, but hopefully we can also see him back out on the field very soon. But if we do indeed move on now to the big transfer story indeed, because it is time to discuss Philippe Coutinho, and there is big interest in this man because it has been reported right throughout this week regarding Premier League interest, and indeed that up to 6 Premier League clubs now are interested in signing Coutinho in this January transfer window, and that is very interesting. Right now, it's sort of unknown exactly who those 6 are, specifically which clubs are interested. I would take a guess there and say, are his former club, Liverpool, having a little look, having an inquiry about what it would cost in terms of wages to bring him in? Potentially Tottenham as well, maybe Everton. The other Merseyside club, of course, could they be interested in Coutinho? What we do know is that Coutinho wants to be convinced by the club that he's going to join in January, and he does want to play football. However, one club that we can be absolutely certain who are interested in Coutinho, and not only interested, but seriously interested too, it's Aston Villa. And crucially, of course, they are managed by former Liverpool captain Steven Gerrard, who, let's not forget, played together there in the same team as Philippe Coutinho when they were both together at Liverpool. Quite clearly, there's a relationship there. Gerrard knows him very well, and I think crucially as well, especially when you're looking to bring him in now, Gerrard is quite new to Aston Villa. He wants to really put his stamp on this club. This would be a big signing for them, and I think also he saw how to get the best out of Coutinho. He saw the best version of Coutinho at Liverpool and the kind of role and the system that he was used in, and that is why Gerrard is so keen to bring in Coutinho now. And it's even been reported that he's personally called Coutinho himself to convince him of the move, and it is a real possibility. Now, right now, what we do know is that Aston Villa are indeed in talks with Barça about signing Coutinho on loan until the end of the season. So right now, provisionally, this would be a loan deal just for the rest of the campaign for a few months. But of course, that would still save us very, very important wages. There are rumours as well that there could be a buy option included in this loan deal. But Aston Villa are said to be much more in favour of an option to buy as opposed there to an obligation, which would basically force them to buy Coutinho after a number of appearances for them. So they want the option and not the obligation. But I think the biggest question that I would have right now about this deal and about any of those Premier League clubs who want to bring Coutinho in this month is exactly how much of those wages are they going to pay? Because I think it would be a real stretch here to assume that any of these clubs are going to pay Coutinho's full salary. Because when you look at the kind of money that we're talking about, it is ridiculous. 23 million per year Coutinho currently makes, well over 400,000 euros. And I really don't see Aston Villa or any of the clubs who may be interested paying that sort of money to have him. But of course, like I say, any kind of saving the club can make, even if somebody came in and paid half of those wages, that's still big money, and that is still really important money that we could use when you're looking at registering somebody like Ferran Torres, because there's a reason why, when it comes to Coutinho, it's so important that he's the man to move on. Out of all the players that we need to really leave the club, we need to see hit the exit door, Coutinho is absolutely number one, because there's a very important reason for this. Right throughout our time over the past season, when a player has departed the club, because of the La Liga restrictions there with regard to that wage cap, which we are over, as a result of that, we've only been able to use just 25% of any saving that we've made towards a new addition to the squad. That is why many times you've heard Laporta say the 4-to-1 ratio, as in we can only ever spend a quarter of the amount that we're saving because we're over that salary cap in La Liga. But this is the crucial part about Coutinho. Because Coutinho's wages take up more than 5% of our entire wage bill, and they do, because like I say, he's a huge earner. Because of that, we would be allowed to use not 25% of the saving, but 50% of the saving, which is massive. That kind of difference there, especially when you look at the kind of wages that we would be saving, it would indeed allow us, if Coutinho leaves, Ferran would be registered, and that is huge. But of course right now we are still waiting. We still need this kind of deal to be wrapped up. We don't know if Aston Villa are going to get over the finishing line. They are really optimistic. They really believe this is a deal that they can get done. But what does give me real confidence about this deal happening is that so many clubs are interested. Aston Villa apparently are very keen to avoid a bidding war. They really don't want other Premier League clubs there getting in front of them for Coutinho. They know this would be a massive signing for them. This would be a really huge statement, and as a result of that, I feel they'll want to get this done. They will want to get this deal over the line, and if that means maybe paying a bit more wages, we will take that, and that is what I would really cling on to right now. There's big interest in Coutinho. Gerrard and Villa really do want him, and Coutinho's exit for us would be such a big step, not only for registering Ferran, but for getting this wage bill back on a manageable level. So please guys, do leave your thoughts in the comments down below. What I would like to know from you is that, do you believe this is going to happen? We've heard many times Coutinho linked with an exit from Barça. As of right now, it has never actually happened. But could this be, finally, at long last, Coutinho's exit? Let me know in the comments down below if you think this deal is going to go through and what your reaction would be to the saving we'd make on those kind of wages. Let me know all that down below. I will, of course, see you soon with all of the latest news. Thank you indeed for watching, guys, and thank you for supporting. But until next time, as always, Visca El Barça.